The numbers of the beast and the Messiah, mysterious codes of the universe, and a secret sealed with 7 seals. The great sages of antiquity were deeply convinced of the most important purpose of divine numbers, expressing the universal laws of time and space. They believed that numbers are the fundamental principle of the universe, and the gods control the universe with their help. In order to learn all the secrets of the world, a person must learn to penetrate into the innermost essence of numbers to understand their symbolism hidden behind the abstract shell of numbers. Among the Greeks, odd numbers symbolized the masculine, active principle, and even numbers, respectively, the feminine and passive. The Chinese saw in odd numbers a reflection of the principle yang, heavenly, constant, and favorable, and in even numbers, the opposite principle, the yin, earthly, changeable, and unfavorable. The ancients persistently tried to comprehend the mystical secret of numbers. The wise Babylonians paid close attention to the numerical characteristics of the time. The Aztecs, who were sensitive to numbers, identified each number with specific deity, quality, and color. And the Kabbalists, who assigned a certain number to each Hebrew letter, laid the foundations of numerology. As we know, there are an infinite number of numbers, so this article will relieve the symbolism of only those numbers whose incomprehensible magical power has always aroused the greatest interest in people. 0. 0 is the most mysterious and contradictory number, the symbol of emptiness, nothingness, primordial chaos, but at the same time an emblem of the absoluteness, eternity, and infinity of the universe. Pythagoras believed that this mysterious number contains everything that exists. We find confirmation of his thought in the mythology of many peoples of the world, where it stated that the universe arose from the world cosmic egg. In Kabbalah, 0 is associated with God named Ei, which in Hebrew means that which is not. God is absolute, nothing. He created the world and maintains its existence, but the Creator himself does not exist, for he stands outside of existence, although he is reflected in every smallest particle of the universe. 1. 1 is the most important mystical number, a symbol of beginning, unity, and integrity, the embodiment of the divine essence, and the allegory of the cosmic axis. When applied to a person, the number 1 symbolizes a man, the human, and lowliness. In all world religions, the unit personifies God. In Confucianism, this number is associated with primordial matter and the mystical center, which served as the root cause and source of being. In medieval alchemy, the unit symbolizes unity and the source of life. For the Pythagoreans, the number 1 was the starting point, the beginning of any calculation. The amazing qualities of the unit are the subject of the deep reflections of the interesting Latin writer Ambrose Theodosius Macrobius, 4th century BC, given in his book Commentary on the Dream of Scipio. Unit, hence the monad, is both husband and wife. Being itself even odd and not being itself a number is the source and beginning of numbers, the beginning and the end of everything, and she herself knows neither the beginning nor the end, pointing to the highest deity and separating him from the many things and forces that flow from him, and it is not without reason that you assign her the next step after God. She is the mind grown from the highest deity, and not subject to the action of time, but eternally abiding in the present, always unchanged. It itself cannot be counted, but it creates from itself and contains in itself countless types of genera and things. 2. The main symbolic meaning of 2 is, of course, its duality. The number 2 expresses the inextricable unity of balanced opposites, life and death, matter and spirit, good and evil, man and woman, good and evil, positive and negative, white and black, water and fire, day and night, etc. In mythology, this idea is most certainly clearly illustrated by the ancient Roman two-faced Janus, the god of doors, lord of entrances and exits. The two faces of Janus, facing in opposite directions, hint at his power over the two hypostases of time. One of them peers into the past, and the second pierces the dense veil of the future with its gaze. And in the dualistic religion of Mazdaist Iran, the two personifies the confrontation between good and evil gods, the bright Ahura Mazda and the dark Ahriman. The principle of dualism is the basis of many religious cults, and in Taoism it's represented by the opposing principles of yin and yang. In alchemy, the number 2 also expresses the duality and opposition of the natural properties of matter, constancy and volatility. Number 3. 3 is synthesis, creativity, creation, and love, as a mystical force that connects two and gives birth to a third. Pythagoras and Aristotle considered this number to be the embodiment of harmony and completeness, since it combines the beginning, middle, and end. 3 is the number of a person who combines body, spirit, and soul. In the countries of the East, 3 is a sacred number. Among the Chinese, it symbolizes holiness, legality, and perfection, and the Japanese honor 3 sacred treasures as a priceless relics: a sword, a bronze mirror, and precious jasper. In ancient Indian mythology, Triloka, the triune universe, consists of 3 worlds: heavenly, earthly, and underground, the afterlife. In ancient mythology, there are many fabulous female triads: Grayas, Graces, Harpies, Gorgons, Parkas, Furies, etc., and among the Celts there are 3 matrons. In folklore, the 3 royal sons or 3 maidens usually appear. The main character of the fairy tale solves 3 riddles, passes 3 tests, makes a choice between 3 roads, and has 3 wishes or 3 magic objects, etc. In all polytheistic religions, power over the world is divided between 3 supreme gods. The Egyptian divine trinity is represented by Osiris, Isis, and Horus. The Hindu Trimurti consists of the creator Brahma, the preserver Vishnu, and the destroyer Shiva. The Greek triad includes Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. And even the attributes of their power are marked with the seal of the sacred number 3. The triple lightning of Zeus, the trident of Poseidon, and the 3-headed hellish dog of Hades. Triads of main gods existed in the cult of the Scandinavians, Celts, Incas, Aztecs, and many other people. This trend continues even in the monotheistic Christianity, where the Trinity of one God is expressed through the Christian Trinity: God the Father, God the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The magic of the number 3 is manifested in Hinduism through the triple musical sound Om, symbolizing the eternal rhythm of the cosmos or the divine breath. In Buddhism, the sacred texts of the Tripitaka are divided into 3 parts. And in Christianity, the Troika personifies the main virtues: faith, hope, and love. In alchemy, the divine number symbolizes 3 important substances: sulfur, mercury, and philosophic salt, which according to Paracelsus strengthened health, destroyed defects, and protect old age. Hermes Trismegistus, thrice greatest, whose prototype was the Egyptian god of wisdom Thoth, was considered the legendary idol and patron of all alchemists. In astrology, 3 was considered as a dynamic creative number, a symbol of the expansion of space and the emblem of the largest planet in the solar system, Jupiter. Number 4. 4 is the most important mystical number, signifying absolute omnipotence, omnipresence, completeness, power over time and space. In nature, the number 4 is associated with the 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air. Commands the 4 cardinal directions and divides time into large and small tetrahedral scales. The major one includes the year, month, week, and day, and the minor one includes the day, hour, minute, and second. The main time categories of each scale are also subject to the magic of the quartet. It divides the year into 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter, and the day into morning, afternoon, evening, and night. In Mayan mythology, the four divine brothers Bakata, standing at the four corners of the universe, hold the sky in their hands. The Indian four-faced god Brahma rules over the four elements. In the Bon religion, four powerful dwarfs guard the cardinal directions. In Chinese mythology, four sacred animals are revered: Qilin, that's the unicorn; Feng Huang, the phoenix; Loon, the dragon; and Gui, the turtle. In the Babylonian, Indian, Iranian, German, and Scandinavian myths, four rivers carrying the waters of spirituality and immortality flow from under the roots of the world tree. Four evangelists played a huge role in the propaganda of the Christian religion: John, Mark, Matthew, and Luke. And in Hinduism, society was split into four closed castes: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. In India and China, the number four was the emblem of the earth, since the ancients imagined our planet was square with flat sides. But in Japan, this is the number of death. The hieroglyph C that denotes it is consonant with the word death. For this reason, the superstitious inhabitants of the land of the rising sun avoid the fatal number in every possible way. In Japan, there are no apartments, houses, no floors, no hospital wards with this number. Among the Pythagoreans, the number 4 is a symbol of the human soul. The meaning of this number for them can be judged by the following words of Ambrose Theodosius Microbius. 4 is revered by the Pythagoreans as a mystical number, a symbol of the perfection of the soul, which is why they included it in the sacred formula of their oath. I swear to those who gave our soul the appearance 4. Number 5. 5 is a universal symbol of man and his 5 senses: sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. Graphically, this symbolism was conveyed by a person standing with his arms outstretched in different directions and his legs spread wide apart, hence in the form of a 5-pointed star pentagram. 5 is associated with love and sexual energy, center and heart, strength and health, and among the Pythagoreans it personified the sacred inextricable connection between earth and sky. In mythology, the number 5 is directly related to some celestial beings: the Hindu Shiva, whose emblem was a 5-pointed star; the Roman Venus, whose beauty and sexuality she expressed; Aztec Quetzalcoatl, who rose from the kingdom of the dead on the 5th day, etc. In the religion of China and Japanese Buddhism, the sacred 5, which included the 4 cardinal directions and mystical center, was a symbol of the universe. In Judaism, this number signified divine power. In Christianity, the 5 wounds of Christ, and in Islam, the 5 commandments of faith. In alchemy, the 5 symbolizes quintessence, the mystical 5th element. The number 6. The number 6 is a wonderful symbol of union, equilibrium, balance, harmony, and beauty. And for the Pythagoreans, it's also an emblem of good luck and happiness. Such magnificent symbolism is based on the amazing properties of the 6, revealed in particular by the Roman Macrobius. And he said, as for 6, which when added to 1 gives 7, it has many different virtues and meanings. The first is that it is the only number among those included in the 10 that can be formed by quotients obtained from it. After all, the second, third, and sixth parts of 6, namely 3, 2, and 1, together make 6. In astrology, this number of beauty and harmony has become the emblem of the heavenly beauty, the planet Venus. The number 7. 7 is a magical number, a sign of perfection, cosmic order, and completeness of the cycle. This symbolism was largely predetermined by the 7-day phases of the moon and the 7 celestial bodies of our solar system, known in ancient times. The 7 also embodied the main secret of the universe, which is why we call the unsolvable riddle a secret sealed with 7 seals. In every religion, this star number is associated with divine powers. In ancient Egypt, 7 was the emblem of Osiris, a symbol of his immortality. In the cult of Iranian Mithras, there are 7 degrees of initiation. In Hinduism, 7 hypostases of Buddha. In Judaism, 7 religious festivals, 7 pillars of wisdom, and 7 days of creation. In the Islamic tradition, the universe consists of 7 lands, seas, and heavens, 7 steps to hell, and the same number of doors block the paths to the Garden of Paradise. In Christianity, the most inconsistent of all religions, the number 7 has both positive and negative symbolism. Church ritual has 7 main sacraments: baptism, communion, confirmation, confession, priesthood, church marriage, and unction. But on the other hand, the fathers of Christianity branded the 7 deadly sins: anger, stinginess, envy, pride, gluttony, adultery, and laziness. In astrology, the 7 wandering stars known in antiquity and the Middle Ages corresponded to the 7 days of the week. The sun ruled Sunday, the moon Monday, Mars Tuesday, Mercury Wednesday, Jupiter Thursday, Venus Friday, Saturn Saturday. In the history of mankind, the magical number 7 personifies everything that is great and wonderful. The ancient Greeks praised the 7 outstanding sages of antiquity: Thales, Dianthus, Solon, Pittacus, Cleobulus, Chilon, and Periander. In the Hellenistic era, 7 unsurpassed masterpieces of architecture and art were identified, called the 7 wonders of the world: the Egyptian pyramids, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the statue of Zeus at Olympia, the Temple of Artemis in Ephesus, the Colossus of Rhodes, the Mausoleum of Halicarnassos, and the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Great Rome, the proud ruler of the ancient world, stood on 7 hills: Aventine, Palatine, Quirinal, Capitol, Viminal, Esquilin, and Celium. In this geological fact, the arrogant Romans saw the special mercy and favor of the gods towards the eternal city and its citizens. In the Middle Ages, the 7 liberal arts were most revered: grammar, rhetoric, arithmetic, geometry, astronomy, logic, and music. It's difficult to say whether the hand of fate or divine providence is visible in this, but the political unification of China was preceded by the formidable era of warring kingdoms, 5th to 3rd century BC, when 7 powerful kingdoms collided in the effort to seize power over the entire celestial empire: Chu, Qin, Wei, Zhao, Han, Qi, and Yan. After some time, the same story repeated itself in England, where in the 6th and 7th centuries AD, 7 Anglo-Saxon kingdoms fought with each other: Kent, Wessex, Sussex, Essex, Mercia, Northumbria, and East Anglia. The number 8 is the embodiment of harmony, balance, order, and stability. 8 is the paradoxical and universal, since the 2 4s or 4 2s that make it up express the unity and the struggle of opposites, hence the main law of the cosmic world order. If 7 marks the completion of the cycle, then 8 exceeds it by 1, symbolizing being the beginning of a new period, renewal, and rebirth. At the same time, this amazing number is the model of a limitless universe. It is not without reason that in the Japanese tradition, it means multiplicity, and in mathematics, the same number depicted horizontally serves as a sign of infinity. In ancient philosophy, the number 8 personifies the unity of the 4 primary elements, divided into 2 opposite pairs: fire, water, earth, air, and their mutually opposite properties: heat, cold, dryness, moisture. For the Pythagoreans, she was an emblem of wisdom, prudence, and justice. Macrobius commented on such a high assessment of it by representatives of this famous philosophical school, and he wrote, "As for the Pythagoreans, they called 8 justice, as the first number that can be decomposed into such pairwise equal numbers, that is, 2 4s, which divided again form 2 identical even numbers, hence 2 deuces, and the 8 is made in the same way, 2 times 2, 2. In mythology, 8 is the sacred number of the Egyptian Thoth and the Greek Hermes. In Chinese Taoist mythology, a special place is occupied by a group of legendary heroes, the 8 Immortals, which include Lu Dongbin, Li Taiguai, Zhang Gualao, Zingli Quan, Cao Gujiu, Han Xanji, Lan Kahe, and the only woman, the immortal maiden, He Xianggu. Their attributes make up 8 symbols of immortality: flute, sword, fan, bamboo cane, calabash, basket of flowers, castanets, and lotus. Each of them is endowed with special magical functions. Liu's sword is designed to punish demons. Zhongli's fan is to revive the dead. His white lotus, whose stem is curved in the shape of a sacred rod of Rui, is capable of granting wishes like a magic wand, etc. In all world religions, the number 8 plays an extremely important role. In Buddhism, where the 8 precepts of Buddha are held sacred, the Eightfold Path, which includes righteous judgment, motive, speech, effort, action, attitude, spiritual activity, and contemplation, indicates a harmonious, moderate way of life leading to salvation. For Buddhists, the lotus with 8 chakras petals is an emblem of a good omen. In Christianity, the number 8 symbolizes rebirth and renewal. The reason for this symbolism is that the resurrection of Christ is presented here as the 8th day of creation. There are many examples in Christian cult and emblems illustrating the sacred meaning of the number 8. The emblem of the resurrection of Christ is the 8-pointed Maltese cross, and the spiritual renewal of man through the sacrament of baptism is reflected in the octagonal shape of the baptismal font. In Christian iconography, the Star of Bethlehem has 8 rays, which announce to the world the birth of the Savior. In Buddhist iconography, the 8 spokes of the wheel of samsara indicate the endless number of rebirths of a person who does not follow the saving commandments of Buddha. In the magic of the North American natives, such a wheel was considered as an 8-sided model of the universe, including the 4 main cardinal directions and the 4 intermediate directions: northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. The volumetric model of the world is best represented by the number 8 squared, hence 8 multiplied by itself. The ancient Chinese Matika, based on the famous Book of Changes, operates with 8 trigrams, signifying the 8 main states of the world. Various combinations of these trigrams form 64 predictions, covering all aspects of the person's personal and public life. The same magical numbers form the basis of the wisest game of all time. Each side of the chessboard is divided into 8 squares, and there are 64 of them in total. Chess is a dualistic model of the ancient Hindu world, a field of eternal struggle between the bright forces of good and the dark legions of evil. Number 9. The Pythagoreans called the closing number 9 the limit of all numbers. 9 is a triple triad, a symbol of absolute perfection and completeness. Man has found evidence of this in space, on Earth, and even underground. Preparing to enter the big world, the human fetus matures and gains strength in the womb for 9 months. 9 planets rotate in the solar system, which forms a world of near space. In Chinese mythology, the sky is made up of 9 spheres. 4 celestial spheres are oriented along the 4 cardinal directions. The other 4 are oriented in intermediate directions, and the 9th is in the center. On Earth, they correspond to 9 parts of the celestial empire, since the legendary emperor and land manager Great Yu, measuring with his steps the 9 mountains, 9 rivers, and 9 swamps, divided the earth into 9 regions. The formidable completeness of the 9 was given to Mictlan in the mythology of the Mayans and Aztecs, the gloomy underground world of the dead divided into 9 tiers. Christian hell also consists of 9 concentric circles, and there are 9 gates leading there. According to a widespread maritime belief, the ship is brought to ruin by the fatal 9th wave, a giant wall of water rising almost to the skies. In Greek mythology, the completeness of perfection is personified by the 9 beautiful muses: Calliope, the muse of epic poetry; Euterpe, the muse of lyric poetry; Erato, the muse of love songs, Melpomene, the muse of tragedy, Thalia, the muse of comedy, Terpsichore, the muse of dancing, Clio, the muse of history, Urania, the muse of astronomy, and Polymnia, the muse of sacred hymns. In the Christian religion, the completeness of the world order, according to the teaching of Pseudo-Dionysius the Areopagite, 5th century, is expressed by 9 angelic ranks, distributed among 3 triads. The first, the highest triad, consists of seraphim, cherubim, and thrones. The second, dominion, strength, and powers. And the third, close to the world of people, the principles, archangels, and angels. The divine essence of the 9 is also recognized by other religions. In Hinduism, it symbolizes the sacred fire of the god Agni, in Judaism, the light of truth, and in Buddhism, the highest spiritual power. The number 10 is a symbol of integrity, completeness, and perfection. In ancient philosophy, in particular among the Pythagoreans, 10 was considered the universal number of the universe, designated by a 10-pointed star. The 10 commanded the microcosm, man, and microcosm, the universe. The integrity of the first of them was indicated by 10 fingers, and the complete perfection of the second by 9 planets, with the sun in the center. In Chinese philosophy, the number 10 symbolizes balance and harmony, was depicted in hieroglyphs in the form of an equatorial cross. In Chinese and Korean mythology, there are 10 Taoist symbols of eternal life: the sun, mountain, stone, water, cloud, deer, turtle, water turtle, crane, pine, and grass of immortality. Diyu, the Chinese hell, is divided into 10 courts. In 9 of them, the souls of sinners are found, condemned to certain torments of crimes committed on earth. The souls of sinless people are sent to the 10th judgment after death. After a thorough check, they receive the right to rebirth and a ticket to a new life. In the religion of the ancient Jews, the 10 Commandments, 1 and 0, which make up the 10, signify divine manifestation. Therefore, in Judaism and Christianity, it is the 10 Commandments of God that are revered, and the Church demanded sacrifices from believers in the form of paying tithes, a tenth of the harvest or property. In history, this number denotes a certain milestone in the life of mankind. A minor milestone is marked by a decade, 10 days, a major milestone by a decade. In military affairs, a dozen soldiers welded together with iron discipline into a single military unit led by a foreman formed the basis of many armies of the Middle Ages. In the army of Genghis Khan, for example, each soldier was responsible for all of his dozen comrades. If one of them escaped from the battlefield, the entire 10 were sentenced to death. In the Roman army, a proven means of combating desertion was decimation, the execution of every 10th legionnaire by lot. Decimation, used in the first centuries of Rome, was subsequently abolished. However, during the grandiose uprising of Spartacus, 74 to 71 BC, Marcus Crassus, enraged by the successes of the gladiators and the cowardice of the Roman soldiers, was forced to revive the cruel ancient custom. Here is what the great Greek historian, biographer Plutarch, 1st century AD, reports on this matter. Crassus rearmed the defeated units, but demanded a guarantee from them that they would henceforth take care of their weapons, having then selected 500 of them, the main culprits of the escape, and dividing them into 10 people. He ordered that 1 out of every 10 whom the lot would indicate be put to death, and Crassus thus resumed the punishment that was in use among the ancients and had not been used for a long time. This type of execution is associated with shame and is accompanied in front of everyone by terrible, gloomy rituals. The number 12. 12 is a symbol of the eternal cycle of time, completeness, and finitude, since the year consists of 12 months and day and night of 12 hours. In China, an era consists of 12-year periods. 12-year periods. In Greek mythology, the greatest hero of Hellas, Hercules, performed 12 brilliant feats. 1. Strangled the Nemean lion. 2. Killing the Lernaea hydra. 3. Shot the Stymphalian birds, the cannibals. 4. Caught the fleet-footed Kyrenian fallow deer. 5. Defeated the ferocious Erymanthian boar. 6. Cleaned the stables of King Argus. 7. Tamed the fire-breathing Cretan bull. 8. Curbed the bloodthirsty horses of Diomedes. 9. Obtained the golden belt of the Amazon queen Hippolyta. 10. Drove Geron's cows. 11. Took the infernal three-headed dog Cerberus away from the underworld. 12. With the help of titanium, Atlas obtained the golden apples of Hesperides. In astrology, the starry sky divided into 12 signs of the zodiac: Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, Leo, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, Aries, and Pisces. In the religion of the ancient Greeks, Romans, there are 12 main gods: the Olympian Zeus or Jupiter, Poseidon or Neptune, Hades or Pluto, Hera, Juno, Apollo, Phoebus, Artemis, Diana, Athena, Minerva, Aphrodite, Venus, Demeter, Ceres, Dionysus, Bacchus, Ares, Mars, and Hermes, Mercury. The Bible mentions 12 sons of Jacob, 12 tribes of Israel, 12 fruits of the tree of life, 12 gates of the holy city, 12 stars in the crown of the Virgin Mary. Christ had 12 disciples: Apostle Peter, Andrew, James the elder, James Alphaeus, John the Apostle, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, Thaddeus, Judas Levi, Simon and the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed his divine teacher for 30 pieces of silver. Number 13 is the most fatal, unlucky number, a symbol of destruction and death. It exceeded by one number the complete set, and therefore conceals within itself the threat of conflict and the danger of explosion, a transition to another unknown quality. The origin of the terrible symbolism number 13 are hidden in the darkness for centuries. In the mythology of the ancient Egyptians, the mystical staircase leading to the higher kingdom had 13 steps, with the last of them symbolizing the afterlife. In Scandinavian myths, there is a story about a fatal feast in Valhalla, the heavenly palace of Odin. 12 gods were invited to the feast, but there were 13 guests. The cruel god of chaos and discord, Loki, appeared uninvited, whose machinations led to the death of the bright, beautiful Balder. This story is almost similar to the Christian legend about the Last Supper. The last 13th in a row, Judas Iscariot arrived at it, destroying Christ. And the reason for the mystical fear of this number is not difficult to understand. If we consider that the ancient Jews denoted 13 and the word death were the same sign, that is why in occultism 13 is the favorite number for necromancers and sorcerers, and tarot card number 13 is called death. Even in the modern civilized era, the black magic of the dead number continues to influence superstitious people and entire nations. In the US, England, and France, it's impossible to find such a number in houses, but in cinemas and airplane cabins, the 12th seat is immediately followed by the 14th. In the calendar, Black Friday, Friday the 13th, is of particular concern. It's believed that the unlucky day of the week doubles the mysterious devilish powers of the fatal number. 666. There is a number more sinister than 13, and this is the number of the beast, 666, the generally accepted emblem of the devil and the sign of the Antichrist. And this number was first mentioned by John the Apostle in the Apocalypse. He who has intelligence count the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666. But not everyone has intelligence, therefore both in ancient times and in our days, the satanic 3 sixes evoke a feeling of superstitious horror in fools, although numerology has long ago convincingly shown that the evangelist John, having summed up the numerical values of the letters, encrypted under number 666, not the name of the devil, and the words Caesar Nero. This is who the author of Revelation quite deservedly calls a beast, for this ferocious precursor of Christians poisoned defenseless people with wild animals in the arenas of amphitheaters. Nero is undoubtedly a bloody dictator, a vile executioner, and a sadist, but it is too much honor to identify him with the progenitor of evil himself. Number 888. In contrast to the number of the beast, 3 8s were proclaimed to be the number of the Messiah. The number 888, derived from the numerical value of the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, point to Jesus Christ, for he is supposedly the Messiah who will save our world. However, it's time for humanity of the 21st century, which finds itself faced with many global problems, to realize its own responsibility for everything that happens on earth and not place too much faith in the saving role of the Messiah. Hope in the Messiah, but don't make a mistake yourself. And this is by Soul Ask. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.